and welcome back. My name is Clay. Thank you so much for tuning in. Earlier today, or yesterday, depending on when you're watching this, sometime in the recent past, EA Sports has dropped their first trailer for the upcoming installment in the NHL video game series, as well as announced who the cover athlete is going to be. So I figured I might as well share my thoughts on what we have seen and what we know about the game so far. So let's get right to it. Let's start off with who the cover athlete is, and it is, well, to a little bit of a surprise, Alexander Ovechkin, the Great Eight, getting the nod as the cover athlete, although it's not his first time being said cover athlete. He has appeared on NHL 07 as well as NHL 2K10. Remember those games? I actually preferred those games once upon a time. But today he is announced as the NHL 21 cover athlete. Now I know what you might be thinking, and I'm thinking it too. That cover looks hideous. Yeah, that's the style that EA Sports is going with all of their sports titles this year, this collage mood board type of style. It doesn't really resonate with me, but it really shouldn't have come as a surprise. We saw it with FIFA, we saw it with Madden, we saw it with the UFC, now NHL. Yeah, it doesn't look very good to me. It looks pretty lazy. I mean, remember when they actually looked like they tried? I mean, you wish they kind of get back to that, right? Naturally, the worst version of this cover is on the cheapest version of this game. You have the Standard Edition, you have the Deluxe Edition, and you have the Ultimate Edition, also known as the Great 8 Edition. In my opinion, it's the Ultimate Edition that has the best looking of the three cover arts. It's cleaner, it's minimalistic, and it's kind of a throwback to one of the older versions. But of course, it also costs $100. So, yeah. Now, obviously, cover art is not very important in the grand scheme of things, right? Gameplay and features, that's the most important thing. If you have perfect gameplay, then who cares about the cover art? But if you've played this NHL series long enough, you'll know that we are far from having perfect gameplay. And I don't see that changing anytime soon, whether it be this year or the next 5 years or probably even the next decade. Here's the thing about the cover art, though. It tends to signify the art style of the rest of the game, kind of the start screen, the menus. So if it's not pleasing to your eye and you're playing this game a lot, that can kind of drain on you a little bit. Once again, it's not the most important thing, but it's kind of disappointing. So enough about the cover, let's actually dive into the meat and potatoes of this game, or at least what we know so far about it. If we look at the NHL 21 website, we'll see three things are featured. First, you have the Michigan goal, or lacrosse goal, being screenshotted there. So obviously they've added some new moves, and those will probably be abused, just like the one-handed tuck. So yeah. Next up, you have revamped Be a Pro. Thank goodness they're finally touching that mode again. Pretty excited about that. And then finally, they have a couple updates to World of Shell. So they're adding seasons, and they've also added some practice and free skate for EASHL. So that's pretty cool as well. And then finally, they kind of show you some of the pre-order stuff that you will get with the deluxe and ultimate editions of the game. So if HUT and World of Shell is super duper important, maybe look into those more expensive versions of the game. But otherwise, for me, who does not play HUT at all and just dabbles a little bit in World of Shell, it's going to be Standard Edition all day. Now, I also noticed that every NHL team posted the exact same social media video post about this game, just changed so it featured said team. And I noticed a little section of this video that caught my eye, which shows this character that you have in the revamped Be a Pro mode getting drafted. And it shows your character on draft night with the tracksuit. Like, who wears a tracksuit to the draft? Whether it be the NFL draft, the NBA draft, the NHL draft, whatever. It doesn't happen. Draft is a big moment for these players. It's a formal event, formal attire thing. They're not showing up in tracksuits. Is it important? No. However, this is what we've seen from EA Sports for the last decade, maybe even 15 years, across all their games, really, not just NHL series, but Madden and FIFA as well. This lack of attention to detail that just brings you out of the immersion of this game. Detail, the devil's in the detail. Like, that is what separates a game from being good or being great. And if we can't even see them have this detail, this pretty obvious detail here in a new revamped version of the mode, like, what can we expect them to really have done or gotten right in the rest of the game, in more meaningful things? And considering that, you know, it's been a weird year and the pandemic has kind of affected maybe some work, like, how much are we really going to expect things to like actually be good? So for me right now, from what I've seen, from the cover to the trailer, the features, the fact that it's coming out a little bit later, so it's going to have a shorter shelf life, when you consider that they'll probably revert back to their normal release schedule for NHL 22. The fact that the next NHL season has a crap ton of question marks, so this game is not going to really match up with, you know, the actual NHL season. Just the fact that I don't really play a whole lot of online, so I don't need to have like the latest and greatest. Like, for me, this version of this game, there's not enough there right now to make this worth, you know, $60. If I do get this game, which right now I am pretty much on the fence with, if I do get this game, it's certainly going to be because it's heavily discounted. So I, for one, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not looking forward to this game. I always kind of look forward to the next NHL game, but like, the excitement isn't really, I'm not hyped up about it, is what I'm trying to say. If you are, great, awesome. And I hope that this game is everything you want it to be. For me, it's not quite. But these have been my initial thoughts. I'd love to hear your initial thoughts. Let me know down in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate that as always. But most importantly, stay safe, make good decisions, and I'll see you next time.